boys and girls. We're going to do some math together. So we're continuing with Unit 7, 100 and beyond. And I know you guys are all number experts, so this won't be any trouble for you. But we're going to have to use some codes to solve some problems. So let's go on. Today is session 1, 10 steps on the path. So we're going to do some more work with Hansel and Gretel. So we have improving Hansel and Gretel's path. I'm going to go ahead and read this to you. You can follow along with your eyes. Over the last few days, we've been helping Hansel and Gretel mark the walking paths near their little house in the woods. Well, now the trails are so well marked that many people who live in the village nearby are starting to use them too. So the two children decided to clean up the trails a bit. They decided it would be nice to put in some fences and some benches and plant some pretty flowers. They decided that each fence section should be 10 steps long, each bench should be 5 steps long, and each flower pot should be only 1 step long. So we're going to use those numbers to solve a problem for Hansel and Gretel. So let's go on. So here's the pleasant path. It says Hansel and Gretel decided to make the walking paths around their house in the woods even more pleasant by adding fences, benches, and flowers in pots. So that's what just goes on with what we just read. So here's how things will look when they're placed along the path. See the fence, flower pot, little bench, and some more flower pots. Maybe some of you have been planting some flowers while you've been home. So how many flower pots do you see? So take a second, take a look at the slide, count the flower pots, and we're only counting down here on the bottom. We're not counting these up here. Okay, so there are 4. How many benches do you see? So here's what a bench looks like. How many benches? Yep, just 1. And then how many fences? Just the 1. So now we need to figure out how long is this section of the trail? How do you know? And can you find 2 different ways to explain how you know? So I'm going to give you a second to try to figure this out on your own. Just take a second and think about it. Right now I'm imagining all your little hands shooting up in the air because you all just get so excited when it's time to answer questions. I'm just going to pause for a second. Okay, so let's think about this. So one way is we can use Unifix cubes. So I'm going to switch to my Unifix cube screen, and you're going to help me remember that a fence is 10, and the bench is 5, and the flower pot is 1. So when I look back here, I see 1 fence, so I know I need 10 red cubes. So I already have 1. I'm going to turn it sideways so that it fits on the screen. 2. Slide it over, otherwise it's going to go off the edge. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. And 10. So there are our 10 cubes for our 1 fence. I'm going to flip back, and then we have a flower pot. And a flower pot is 1 green cube. So let me put a green cube. Boop. And then I'm going to go back, and next we have a bench. And the bench was 5 cubes, and they're asking us to use blue. So I'm going to get out 5 blue cubes, my favorite color. 2, 3, you slide it over. 4, and 5. And let me go back again and see what we have left. And so we had the fence, a flower pot, a bench, and now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 more flower pots. So I need 4 more green cubes. So let me add those on there. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so here is one way we can use cubes to help us solve this problem. So we can count all the cubes if we want. We could count them in groups. So take a second, and then I'll put some numbers up there to help you. Because we know that we had 10 red cubes plus 1 green plus 5 blue, and then we had 4 green. And I bet some of you are already seeing ways to make 5 and ways to make 10 and quick ways to add this all together. Some of you might be counting each cube, and that's okay too. Whatever you can do to solve this problem. So by now you're probably figuring out that there are 20 all together. So it took 20 cubes to make this path, and this path is 20 steps long if each cube represents 1 step on the path. Okay, so now we can go on and we can look at how many steps would it take to walk the length of 2 benches. This time they already put the cubes for us. So if we were thinking about this, we know that 5 plus 5 equals 10. So we take 10 steps for 2 benches. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Here is 1 bench, 3 flower pots. How many steps would it take to walk the length of these objects? I'm going to give you a second to try to figure it out. I know sometimes I get in a hurry. My own kids say the same thing. Mom, be patient. All right, well, let's go ahead and do it. So we have 5 blue plus 1 green plus 1 more green plus 1 more. And you've probably already figured out that 5 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals, you got it, it equals 8. We can count on 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, you guys did amazing work. We have 1 more slide to solve. Let me switch it. This should be an easy peasy one for you because we know that the fence is 10. So we're looking at 10 plus 10. And all of you probably already know it. It equals 20. 10, 20. Fantastic work. All right, so now it is your turn to do some of this practicing on your own, and you can find this worksheet in Schoology, or I already sent it to you in an email, but I'll show you where to find it if I can get there myself. So you're going to go into Schoology, and you're going to go into week 3. I was having some trouble with Schoology. Here we go, it's working. And then in week 3, you can go into Unit 7, Module 3 worksheets. And then I have it all set up for you about session 1, session 2, 3, 4, and 5. And today is 1, so we're going to open that up. Seems like a lot of clicking, doesn't it? But that's okay. All right, and then here is the page, 10 steps on the path. And it looks like this. So you can print it out if you want. You can work on it on the computer if maybe you have some kind of a tool that you can write with on the computer, or you can just talk about it and draw your own on a different piece of paper, whatever works best for you. All right, boys and girls, that is our math for today. Tomorrow, when we do math, it is session 2, 20 steps on the path. So I will see you again soon. Thank you. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day.